Yesterday, I guess I came out and decided to check on the hive to see how the honeycombs were doing, the new frames that I put up top, and I noticed that there was nothing being built in them, which I kind of thought was curious. So I thought about why that might be, and I realized it's because I did something incorrectly here. So every time you put on a box with more frames in it, this here inner lid should actually be put on top of the new one. So you guys want to get a close up of the bees there. So yeah, that's been why they haven't really been building here. See what's going on. But in the meantime, I also wanted to address some frequently asked questions. One of the big ones I got was, how does the queen excluder work? And literally it's just by size. So this the spacing here is large enough for the drones and the workers to get between, but the queen, who is a little bit larger, she won't be able to make it through that. Another question that we get quite often is, what do the bees do during the winter? And the most simple, basic answer would be, they just stay in their hive, they bundle up into a ball and keep warm. The queen stays in the middle of the ball to keep the warmest. Average bee lifespan for the drones is usually just 2 or 3 months or so, but it's prolonged over the winter because they're not working nearly as hard, so they survive a lot longer. Now all the drones are female. The male bees exist only to mate with the queen when she needs it. So in an average hive with a colony of upwards, 60,000 bees or so, there's only usually ever a couple hundred males at a time. And so if they're needed, then the queen will fly out and do a mating flight, wherein a couple of the males will mate, and as soon as they do that, they die. That's it, game over. And otherwise, they just hang around in the hive just in case. They live a couple months. They don't have a stinger. So if at wintertime they're still around, then basically they get forced out of the hive. They get kicked out because they eat a lot of the honey, the nutrients, and they don't contribute anything over the winter at all. Another question we had was about the pollen, if the bees actually use it or if they just have that symbiotic relationship with the flowers to get the nectar. But yes, the bees actually do use the pollen, principally for food for the larvae. The younger bees, they get fed that with a mixture of honey. It's the only source of protein that honeybees get. And I guess lastly would be, you out of there? Okay. Do bees fly in a straight line? So when they leave the nest, the hive, they'll go out foraging. The younger bees that are just starting to fly and learn how to forage, they'll fly in circles that gradually increase in diameter so that they can kind of get to know the area, and then they'll just go out wherever and forage. On their way back, they will fly directly to the hive, maybe not necessarily in a straight line, but they don't make any stops on their way home.